The grand ballroom of the Whitmore estate shimmered under the golden chandeliers that night. It was supposed to be a charity gala, but behind the glitter and the laughter, something cruel was about to happen. Ethan Whitmore, a self-made millionaire known for his arrogance, had planned a little entertainment for his elite guests. He sent an invitation to his cleaning lady, a quiet, humble woman named Grace Johnson, just to mock her. "Let's see if she actually shows up," he joked to his wife, sipping champagne. His friends laughed. "Imagine her trying to fit in here," one of them said. "She probably doesn't even own a dress." Ethan smirked. "Exactly. A little reality check won't hurt her." But what he didn't know was that the joke would become the most humiliating night of his own life. Grace had worked for the Whitmores for 3 years. She scrubbed their marble floors, polished their silverware, and listened silently to their condescending remarks. She was invisible to them, or so they thought. When the gold-embossed invitation arrived, Grace instantly recognized the insult hidden behind the polite words. "Black tie event, maximum elegance." She knew exactly what Ethan was trying to do, but Grace also knew something he didn't, that the past he thought he buried was about to walk into his mansion wearing a crown of dignity and truth. The night of the gala arrived. Limousines pulled up one after another. Diamonds sparkled, laughter echoed, and the air reeked of champagne and arrogance. And then the room went silent. At the top of the marble staircase stood Grace. But this wasn't T, the woman they knew, the one who carried cleaning supplies and kept her eyes down. This Grace looked regal. Her gown flowed like liquid gold. Her posture was perfect, her expression calm and commanding. For a moment, no one moved. Then Ethan whispered to his guests, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Look who decided to show up, our cleaning lady, all dressed up." The crowd burst into laughter. Grace descended slowly, every step deliberate, every glance reminding them she wasn't there to entertain. She was there to reign. "Grace, I must say," Ethan smirked as she approached, "you've outdone yourself. That dress must have cost a fortune. Did you borrow it from someone?" Grace smiled softly. "Actually, no. It was a gift. From someone you might remember." "Oh?" Ethan chuckled. "And who might that be?" She met his eyes. "Your father." The laughter died instantly. Ethan froze. "What did you just say?" he asked, his voice tightening. "I said," Grace repeated, her tone sharp as glass, "your father gave it to my mother, on the night he promised he'd never abandon us." Whispers rippled through the crowd. Ethan's wife turned pale. "What is she talking about, Ethan?" He laughed nervously. "She's delusional. She cleans houses and makes up stories." But Grace didn't flinch. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small velvet box. Inside was an antique ring, engraved with the Whitmore family crest. "This ring," she said, holding it high, "was my mother's, given to her by Thomas Whitmore, your father, the same man who is my father too." The room erupted in gasps. Cameras flashed. The same socialites who had mocked her minutes ago were now speechless. Ethan's voice trembled. "You're lying." Grace stepped closer. "Really? Because I brought proof." She gestured to the entrance. A man in a dark suit walked in, Judge Alan Pierce, retired, and once the Whitmore family's legal advisor. He cleared his throat. 25 years ago, Mr. Thomas Whitmore altered his will to include Grace Johnson's mother and her child. But after his sudden death, that version of the will disappeared." Grace's calm voice filled the hall. "Disappeared. Along with my mother's reputation, her dignity, and everything she was promised." Ethan's face turned red. "This is absurd. My father died of natural causes." "No," said another voice, Dr. Lewis, the family physician. "He didn't. He was poisoned. I have the medical records and lab results from his exhumed remains. Someone made sure Thomas Whitmore never changed that will officially. A deadly silence fell. All eyes turned to Ethan. Grace looked at him with quiet sorrow. You had everything, Ethan. But you wanted more. You destroyed our family to keep your empire clean. The judge held up a folder. With these documents, Grace Johnson is officially recognized as Thomas Whitmore's daughter and rightful heir to 50% of his estate. Ethan stumbled back, pale as marble. This can't be happening. Oh, it's happening, Grace said softly. And tonight, everyone will know the truth. She turned to the guests, the same people who had mocked her minutes ago. You all laughed because you thought wealth gives you worth, she said. But class isn't measured by money. It's measured by character. Minutes later, police sirens echoed outside. Officers entered the ballroom, approaching Ethan. Mr. Whitmore, one officer said, you are under arrest for fraud, obstruction of justice, and evidence tampering. Ethan's wife covered her mouth in shock. Ethan, my God. As the handcuffs clicked around his wrists, he looked at Black Grace, desperate, broken. Please, he whispered, don't destroy my family. Grace's expression softened. You already did that, Ethan. I'm just cleaning up the mess. Weeks later, the mansion had a new owner. The nameplate outside now read, Grace Whitmore Foundation for Equality and Justice. The same ballroom where she was mocked had become a community center for single mothers and scholarship students. Reporters flooded her office, asking the same question. Was this revenge? Grace smiled gently. Revenge is fueled by hate. What I did was justice, and justice is fueled by love. Love for my mother, for truth, and for every person who's ever been made to feel small. She looked at the framed photo on her desk, her mother wearing the same golden dress. People like Ethan believe power means stepping on others, she said softly. But real power is lifting others up. That night, as Grace stood on the balcony of her new home, overlooking the city lights, she whispered to herself, Some storms come to destroy, others come to reveal who you really are. She smiled, remembering how it all started, with an invitation meant to humiliate her, and how she turned that invitation into her crowning moment. Because in the end, Ethan Whitmore learned the most painful lesson of all. You can buy luxury, you can buy loyalty, but you can never buy dignity. If this story of justice and strength touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every once in a while, the world needs to be reminded that the most powerful person in the room is the one you dared to underestimate.